Join Delane as he chats with some of the best musicians in the business. Interviews you can only hear on Hayes' Hard Drive.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Hayes' Hard Drive, and it is a very special occasion. I have some gentlemen from Boston. That's right, up north, you North Carolinians. They are an awesome group, and they are known as Los Elk. I would like to invite you guys. Welcome. How's everybody doing over there? There they are. There they are. We're here. We heard some feedback. It's all good. We're doing good, man. Are you guys all right?
Yeah, that's our fifth band member. He's kind of a jerk.
Gee, you know what? Did somebody slip on some ice up there or something? Is that what happened?
Something must be going on. It's all the cold we got in the airwaves that really messes with the signal.
Hey,
Elaine, how you doing? Thanks for having us.
Man, I am absolutely wonderful. Thank you guys for coming on the show. I had an opportunity to play some music for all of our fans out there. Last week, they got a taste of Black and Blues, man, and people were giving me comments about you guys. So we're so glad to be able to have you on, talk a little bit about your new single that is coming out today, and the EP that will be coming out to follow. So we're just ecstatic, man.
Well, we're so excited to be here, so thank you so much.
So first off, I am curious about this. Los Elk. Tell me about how we get this band name, Los Elk. I've got Los Lobos, Los Lonely Boys, and Los Elk.
Well, we wanted those band names at first, but they were all threatening to sue us, so we kind of landed on this one.
Well,
it's they say a band name either has to be very meaningful or completely random, and so this one's kind of the latter. Long story short, our drummer Bondi played in a high school dodgeball tournament, and actually him and his team were doing pretty well. They made it to the semifinals, and they got absolutely smoked by the varsity baseball team, who had made their own dodgeball team. Now that varsity baseball team went on to win, and they were called Los Elk. So I think we've kind of reappropriated the name from what was a loss into what is now our own success. So we're named after a high school dodgeball team, and a pretty darn good one.
You know what? I think that might be one of the best stories I've ever heard. That is wonderful. So let me introduce the band first. I got so excited to talk to you guys, I didn't even get a chance. Lead singer, also guitarist, Amir Rivera. Bass player, look at that, I'm getting tongue-tied. Gabe Folletti. Guitar player, he goes by three names, people. Justin Nash Fisher. And on the drums, Bondi, or Ryan Bondell is his real name, but Bondi on the stage. So welcome, Los Elk. Coming from the...
What's going on, guys?
So how long have you guys known each other?
Oh, man, that's I could answer that in a few ways, but Bondi and I started the band in 2011. But Gabe, who's a dear old friend of mine, we've been playing music since about, I don't know, 7th grade, 8th grade, I'd say. Yeah. Nash, we met yesterday, but he learned a lot in a day, and now he's rocking and recording with us. We found him in an alleyway, actually. He was just sniffing the wall. He's been weird. It was weird, yeah.
You know what? It sounds like, Nash, that you're the butt of many jokes.
It's okay. I let it happen.
That's all.
He's
quite the jokester himself.
There has to be camaraderie among band members, because if not, this whole thing doesn't work. Because forming a band, a group of people that travel around and play music for others, is an absolutely insane thing to do. And 4 guys together traveling around, having to deal with all the stuff that you deal with as a band and as a group. It's almost psychotic, and you got to have a whole lot of fun. You have to have humor. You have to have jokes, because if you don't, this thing isn't going to work.
Man, this is Justin. I went to music school, and I always complain with some buddies in some guys that are in a band called Right, the good friends of ours. We all went to music school together, and I used to joke that they should have a class at music school where you just sit in a van with your buddies that's really cramped and smells bad for 12 hours. And then at the end, that's it. That's the class every single day. You have to just go sit in a van for 12 hours.
So, you know, You know, the guy that's standing behind the scenes or the DJ booth pushing the buttons more than likely has no experience with this, but you know what? This guy over here does. So when I got out of college, I pushed boxes for a local band, and we toured over North Carolina, South Carolina, Virginia, around in those areas, 3 states, not too far. Well, we were down in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, and we were playing down there. We finished up about 2 a.m. The next morning, we had to be set up in Cherokee, North Carolina, which is about 12 to 13 hours. So we drove all through, and we were thinking, all right, we're going to stop about halfway, and we're going to get a hotel. Well, where we wanted to stop, there was some type of biker convention going on, so there were no hotels in this area. So we just decided to continue on to Cherokee. There's a casino there that we were playing in. And no joke, I fell asleep inside of where we were playing, right on top of some chairs for about 10 minutes. I think I stayed up for about 35, 36 hours. And you know what? This is something that people out there, they just think it's 3 hours of jamming music, and that's all that happens, and that's it. But as you guys know, it is far from that. So
it's exactly that, and that's why it's so crazy. You put months and months and months of practice and writing and rehearsal time in, for a big show that is over in the blink of an eye. You work so hard just for that precious moment and those precious moments. So yeah, that's cool that you get it.
Yeah, you gotta have that opportunity, to be able to do that. And as I've had the opportunity to listen to quite a bit of your music, and I personally am a fan myself. I want to know from you, because I have my own opinions. What genre of music, if you even could do this, do you consider your work to be?
Yeah, I mean, that's Bondi here, by the way, and that's always a tough question. It's always one of the first we get. And I think a lot of that kind of has to do with something that you are touching on here, which is that we're kind of spanning a lot of genres throughout our show and throughout our discography. And in large part, that comes from a, very diverse set of influences. But, if we had to narrow it down, fellas, what do we think here about a genre?
I've been calling it indie groove.
Indie groove. Moose, what do you think?
I usually say indie rock.
Indie rock. Jay, what do you think?
I think it's just horrible music, and I really don't care, so I quit.
and ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for having Los Elk on the show. We're gonna have to go now. The band has just been completely disformed, and they will no longer be playing any more shows.
Wow. Yeah, we just wanted to save that for here. But and also Allie, our manager, she thinks that, throwing pop in there is an important aspect too, because I think a lot of times, and it's actually funny, I was at a Lettuce show last night, if anyone
I
else
love
is familiar
Lettuce.
with the band Lettuce.
Nigel,
Yeah,
right? Nigel's their lead singer, is that correct?
I think so.
Yeah.
And they were at House of Blues last night, which is a staple venue of theirs. It was a couple nights ago, and the musicianship that you were seeing on stage was very, very advanced. It's just one of those bands that has some of the best cats in the world playing.
Yeah, they're really funky.
Doing.
They're really funky.
Yeah, and it's funny because I was standing there listening, and sometimes the musicianship was almost so advanced that they kind of transcend, what's easily accessible, and they're doing things that your ear doesn't even pick up on for a lot of people. And I think in large part a reason why there's this movement to throw pop in there as well is because, and I think it's something that we pride ourselves on, is that we take the musicianship of our songs very seriously, but at the same time we're super in touch with having them be accessible and good, and you can throw it on and you're just gonna hopefully at least connect with it and with the choices we're making. So I just wanted to add that last little caveat on at the end.
Well, you mentioned previously, and I think this is going to maybe bridge a little bit of the gap here. You talked about major influences, and for myself and this show that I am doing, I play all genres, all eras of music. And as you're doing that, you begin to see exactly what you just said, that things begin to transcend. They begin to go past this idea of genre, that good music is good music. And there's only two kinds, good and bad. And, you know, it doesn't matter what genre it is. It doesn't matter where it is. Hey, as long as it's good to your ears, it doesn't matter. And I think that those influences that you guys have really go into what you're going to be producing, even in some cases, possibly without you knowing. You know, so that's a question for all of you guys. Who were your influences, maybe growing up, even now, that help you to provide such an eclectic variety of music?
Well, it was real convenient when we all met up and when Gabe joined the band. Gabe was not our original bass player. He joined the band at around right at the end of our college experience in 2015. Now, Gabe and I grew up playing a lot of Red Hot Chili Peppers. We loved Kings of Leon. That was a big band, especially in high school for us. Those big bands like The Strokes, a lot of alt and indie rock, Muse, bands like that who would, you know, kind of just have these massive sounds while also really sounding like themselves. I'd say Chili Pepper was a big one for us growing up. And then so when I got to Skidmore, me and Bondi met pretty quickly, formed the band, and our first jam together, he asked me, he said, so what do you like to play? And I said, oh, a lot of Red Hot Chili Peppers and Kings of Leon, stuff like that. What do you like to play? And he said, well, a lot of Red Hot Chili Peppers and Kings of Leon. So that was pretty awesome that we kind of had that overlap there. But it's interesting now. We find so many times when we're sitting down and writing music that we've all gone in so many different directions based on what we listen to. And so I think that reflects in our songwriting. And when you get all these songs that, you know, it kind of makes it tough for us to have a genre on us, the fact that we're all over the place. But yeah, I think it's better than limiting yourself to one thing and other people's voices and preferences aren't expressed in that way, you know? So yeah, we like to take all of those influences growing up and mash them into our music.
You know, that's funny that you said that, because you know, when I listen to the Rituals EP, songs like Neighbor and Tire Swing, I hear Kings of Leon. I hear a lot of things to where that love for Kings of Leon and that influence comes out. And you know, if I go to something like the studio sessions from Boston, and I listen to something like Hands and Austin, I can hear some of those Flea type of licks coming out. You know, it's the difference between those four songs, from, you know, Rituals to the studio sessions. I can see the Red Hot Chili Peppers with Hands and Austin and the Kings of Leon, and some of those influences starting to come out just from a listener perspective. And so yeah. I think that's awesome that you guys, you know, to someone who doesn't know you, who had not known the answer to that question, and I'm just listening as a fan, you know, that kind of is really awesome, you know. And I know that you guys, you just spoke about college. I want to mention Skidmore College is where you guys met up. And by the way, for those people down south here in North Carolina and around, that is it's in Saratoga Springs, New York, correct?
Yep, that's correct.
And that's it's a very, by the way, guys, this is not one, you know, a huge college. You're talking about 2,500 to 3,000 students here at this college up in Saratoga Springs. So that's the I guess the origin of this group.
Yep.
So I wanted to ask you guys where, and some of the people here may not be familiar with some of these venues, but where are some of the places that you perform? I know you guys are out of Boston, but you know, you also have a really big connection to New York as well. So where do you guys usually play?
During college, we would kind of play all over. We'd play at Putnam Den, which was kind of our old stomping ground venue, which is now Putnam Place in Saratoga Springs. And we'd also travel to Cambridge, which is my hometown, and Boston, play around there. We do some random shows in Connecticut, kind of dive bars. And then we'd go to New York City a lot. We have a lot of people, family and friends who are there or who would, who would always come out to shows there. So we kind of lived a double life in college. We'd be working all, Monday through Thursday on our homework. And then on Friday, we would just leave for New York City. So we've always kept that a big market for us and kept it hot. And so we love playing in New York, and Bondi is from there. I'll let you take over.
Yeah, so Bondi here, and I'm from New York. I grew up in Manhattan. So it's been really cool for me to see kind of the transformation over time in the types of places that we were playing. And I love them all, of course, but when we were in New York, one of the very usual places for us to hang around was Mercury Lounge. On the Lower East Side, which is a very lovely venue. We've seen a lot of our favorite shows there. And, that was a really big deal for us to do that and play that. And we've played there sold out. So that was a really big benchmark for us. And then we kind of had our debut at Rough Trade, NYC. That's another venue in Brooklyn. And I believe that one sold out too. So that was really cool. And our next return to New York is coming up pretty soon, and we're very excited because it's the biggest one yet. Actually, it's at Brooklyn Steel, and it's a relatively newer venue, but for anyone who knows it or has been there, it's just incredible. So we're really excited about it.
And I believe that is Friday, February the 8th. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Right, and if I remember correctly, you guys actually have a show this evening, right?
That is correct.
Yeah.
We have a show this evening. We're playing at UMass Amherst, which is a college in Amherst, Massachusetts. Big old school with some great people.
That's awesome. So we were talking a lot about the music. I was kind of throwing stuff out. 2015 EP Rituals, 2016 EP Fade, 2017 EP Studio Sessions in Boston, and also in 2017 a single called Deja Voodoo. All of these can be found on Spotify. You can also find this stuff on iTunes. So it's a great opportunity for some really good music. What I want to know is obviously out of all these wonderful songs, which one would you say that you perform the most frequently? Is there one that maybe you play more than another? Or how about this? Do you have one that gets requested more than another, that you find that people really dig during your live shows, or maybe one that you enjoy playing more than another one live?
I would say Black and Blues. Black and Blues is definitely the one that people always come back to and that people request quite often.
We do also have this other one. We don't totally have a finalized name for it, but it's this kind of more Middle Eastern sounding song that we play live. It is unrecorded, but it is without doubt our most popular of our live acts.
Well, you know what? It's funny that you said that. That's going to lead me into the very next thing that we're going to do. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to go ahead and place this song that we were just talking about off of the Fade EP 2016. Apparently, it sounds like it's the most requested song. So you know what? We'll play that for you right now. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Los Elk and Black and Blues.
Try to get you when I make moves. You're always gone too soon. Let's make you serve every room. I'll put it on the table. We miscommunicate, not how I operate. 'Cause once is not enough. I picture us falling for the keys, storming through the door, talking with our eyes. something that I'm used to. And I'm not like other guys who put on a disguise, trying to seduce you. Now we don't miscommunicate, not how I operate, 'cause once is not enough. I picture us falling for the keys, stumbling through the door, talking with our eyes. Come on. Drinking what you like, staying up all night. Let's see what we can do about it. And I know she wanna give it up. I know that she knows, I know that she knows. And I swear I'm never giving up on you, never giving up on you. I picture us falling for the keys, stumbling through the door, talking with our eyes, drinking what you like, staying up all night. Let's see what we can do about it.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. That was Black and Blues by Los Elk, who we have with us right now on the phone. We've got Amir, we've got Gabe, we've got Justin Nash Fisher, and we've got Bondi. Los Elk. They have been chatting with us for the last 15 or 20 minutes, and we've been talking all about their music. So if you're just tuning in, you've missed quite a bit, but you know what? We're going to catch you up to speed with the most important part, and the reason why the guys are here. I'm so excited about this because we have the opportunity to talk about their brand new single that is coming out or is out right now. It's out today. We're going to give you a taste of that. The first place that you're going to be able to hear it right here on Hayes' hard drive, their new single, Say. So we're excited about that. But then on top of that, we're also excited about a brand new EP that is going to be coming out very soon as well. So guys, tell me a little bit about what they're going to be hearing in the song Say.
So you're going to be hearing some awesome guitar work. It comes out driving with this harmonized riff that's super catchy. Just one of those earworms. If it all works well, it'll get stuck in your head for weeks. We're sorry in advance. And so it's this funky groove in B minor. If anybody likes B minor as a key, and it's a driving chorus and the bridge. Well, I'll keep you wanting more.
So, we talked a little bit about, the musical influences and how some of the other music sounds, and it is eclectic. Does this single, in your opinion, change in terms of the way that it sounds, or is it, coming together with all of the sounds into one? Possibly with this new single, as well as the expected new EP that will be coming out?
So, there's a lot to tuck into there. I think with the single, what you're going to hear is just, a slightly, if anything, more mature and honed and kind of sharper sound. And it's going to be on the funkier side. And like Amir was saying, it's definitely up there, and you can throw it on and get going. So that's what you can kind of expect from the single. And then to fast forward a bit to the EP, the sound is going to round out a little bit more, and you're going to start to hear kind of like what we were talking about before, that wider set of influences coming into play. And I think that we have some honestly completely new directions and elements to these recordings that you're going to hear and be surprised about, because nothing like it really exists on any recorded Los Elk that currently is out there. So we're really excited to share just all this really new stuff, and hopefully people dig it.
Well, we were talking about, directions and things of that nature. And I've had the opportunity to talk with a few other artists, and I asked this question, and I hope that I form it right so that you can kind of follow the bunny trail here. in terms of your direction, you find that some people get involved in a band, making music, creating music. Some people think about fame and fortune. And then there are other bands, groups, and artists that is actually something that comes secondary. I mean, what do you guys think as a group in terms of what you're seeking and why you got involved together for, to create music together? Would it be more or less like, yeah, man, it'd be awesome to have a band, we can, be famous? Or is it more like, we just want to make great music, and if we become famous, if things pick up, then that's just the secondary, effect of just loving music?
Yeah, it's a great question, actually. At the very core of it, we really just care about the art. That's the most important part. It's not, I don't think that one comes without the other, but that's at the heart of it. Is we want to make music that we dig, that other people will also dig, so that we can all kind of feel moved together, because it's one of those amazing things when let's say you're at your favorite band, you're seeing them live, and then you look around and everybody there is just as psyched as you are, and then you look at the band and they're just as psyched as the crowd is, if all goes well. So the fact that we can even be involved in that in any way is a huge responsibility. So we take that very seriously. That's not to say that we're not hungry and going for it. We've made so many sacrifices to try to be successful and to try to have, if you're talking strictly like even just the money side of it, have some make some actual money and have that start replacing, I don't know, just the other jobs that we have to do to make it, to just put food on our plate. So while on one hand, our top priority is the music, we do everything necessary to be successful and to keep moving and to keep trucking and to stay original and to stay fun, to stay fresh. And we end up making a lot of personal sacrifices just so that the band account makes money, and we don't really dip into that personally. We just try to grow it and try to keep on playing.
I think that is a very well-rounded, very mature answer. I mean, without being able to love the music, I do not believe there is a way for you to be able to make money, because you have a relationship with your audience. When you're playing music, there is a relationship that is going on, and it may be that you are winning someone over. You're winning a new member of your band over. These guys are going to follow you around. They're going to love you, and it's a first impression, and there's always a relationship. Maybe it's the relationship of them coming back. I remember being out in the audience. One of my favorite artists that most people don't know about, actually, I believe he's a Massachusetts guy, Martin Sexton. He is one of my favorite artists, and I'm telling you, when I personally, as a fan, go to his concert, there are parts of the show that I feel like I am actually in a religious experience. I'm having a spiritual experience right there with his music, and I am completely removed from anything that is going on in my life or bad. And I think that's exactly what you were saying. We have you had the pleasure to do that for people. You get people to escape from things that are going on in their lives. Music bridges gaps. Music does all kinds of wonderful things, and you guys are right there on the forefront of being able to do this in your area and bringing it to the people of Boston, New York.
It's an honor and a privilege.
So let's talk about the EP a little bit. How many songs are going to be on this EP? I know some of the other EPs have had 3 songs, some 2. How many can we expect on this one?
So this is actually going to be another 3-song EP. We're kind of having a little bit of a theme with that, and we can talk more about that later if you want as to why it's 3. But this one is going to be a 3-song EP that has kind of, as I said before, some well-rounded out sounds and directions. And then maybe you hear first that in a little while there might be a 4th addition to the 3-part. I can't say anything more. I'd have to, do something I don't want to do.
You've got me. You've got me dangling on a string, man. You've got me dangling over. So will Say be a part of this EP, or are you guys just going to release Say as the single and then come out with 3 additional songs on the EP?
It is going to be part of the EP. Sorry
Okay.
to tell you.
Hey man, I was hoping I'd get Say as the single, and then on the EP I was going to get 3 more. But you know what? You've got the cliffhanger there for a possible 4. So I'm staying tuned. Okay. So
I'm appreciating it.
Don't leave me hanging. Guys, I want to thank you so much. I know you guys have a gig this evening. Good luck going up to UMass. I know you guys are going to rock it out. February the 8th, you guys are going to be at Brooklyn Steel. Is that correct? It's going to be a big show. I believe 2,000 seat capacity there. It's going to be a rocking show, I'm sure.
We're gonna rock the house. I'm so excited. We're playing with Ripe and Magic Giant, who are 2 incredible bands, and it's just gonna be so much fun. And hey, next time you're in the area, you gotta come out to a show. We'll take care of you.
We will definitely do it, ladies and gentlemen. If you are ever up in the New York, Boston area, we talked about Connecticut as well. Look them up, Los Elk. You can go to their website, www.loselk.com. Is that correct, guys? loselk.com?
That's correct. And the last thing I'll say is that you guys and anybody who's listening and anybody who wants to should absolutely just reach out to us. And and that's a Los Elk Band on all the socials.
And you can find them on Facebook as well. You can find them on Spotify. You can look at their music on iTunes as well. So once again, it's loselkband.com. Yeah. So, gentlemen, without further ado, I think it's time. I think it is time to give the world the brand new single from Los Elk. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my distinct pleasure to bring to you for the very first time anywhere on the radio, right here on Hayes' Hard Drive. It is Say by Los Elk. Guys, thank you so much for being here. And you know what? We'll have you back on again and hopefully to talk about the new EP.
Thank you so much for having us. It's been an absolute pleasure to talk to you and everybody out there. It was nice to meet you, and we hope you enjoy the new music.
I've been talking to all the guys from Los Elk. This is their brand new single, Say. I'm Delane Hayes, and you have been listening to Hayes' Hard Drive.
Inside your walls while you sleep. Now I'm playing defense because you're making me